200 years ago, this was just a big, high, dry ground right here on the Mississippi River that Native Americans and animals found and to keep their feet dry during the high water flooding time of the year, right here on the Mississippi River, which was the great highway in founding of our country centuries ago. Uh, we're the highest piece of ground on the Mississippi River between Cairo and Natchez. So Memphis grew from this high piece of ground here, north to south down the riverfront. Survived the Civil War, survived the yellow fever, uh, came into the 20th century, started building tall buildings, and many of the buildings you'll still see behind us are still here. Up to the middle of the 20th century, to the Don Newman era, when taking photographs of these great buildings. During the Depression era, World War II, post-War II, suburbanization of our whole city started affecting the downtown area. Desegregation of our city facilities in the 50s and 60s, particularly the theaters and the shopping areas up there on Main Street, the department stores, the lunch counters. Then finally the King assassination had a devastating effect on downtown as well. And really emptied out to where by the 1970s there was more people living in jail in downtown Memphis than living residentially, and downtown had emptied out. A renewal started in the 1980s when the Peabody Hotel reopened in 1981, and year by year development has returned to downtown Memphis. Over 25,000 people living in downtown, over 100 restaurants, all the big entertainment centers, 17 fabulous museums. Our riverfront, this area here was the industrial riverfront all through the 20th century. Up to about the 1960s, President's Island had reopened and all the industry shifted down there, which opened up this area for residential development, but retail left and commercial left, basically leaving office buildings and then empty buildings that could be redeveloped into vital or vibrant residential areas. Now the high rises, the loft apartments, and then new development has come in. You can see here and there all behind me. The cobblestones are the oldest original cobblestone wharf in America, but a new boat landing's been put over here. We still have a thriving passenger excursion business on our riverfront, a lot of festivals, Memphis in May, a lot of road races. So there's a lot of activity in downtown Memphis, and the visitors to downtown Memphis now, it's our third largest employer in Memphis is the tourism, and most of it comes into downtown Memphis. And a lot of them see some of the buildings that Don Newman took pictures of in the middle of the century. Some of the great buildings are repurposed, like Lincoln American Tower. You see behind us Claridge House over here, Falls Building. Right behind us is the library and the Customs House, Courthouse, and Post Office that we saw from the Main Street side in another picture. So those are still there and being included. And there'll be more development to come. So downtown Memphis is thriving, and also many of these buildings in their lobbies and interiors have Don Newman pictures showing some of the old photographs from the 1950s and 60s. And that's kind of interesting to see when you walk into some of these buildings. People are proud of the building they're in because it's usually 80 to 100 years old, but it's in its second or third use, you know. So downtown Memphis is a good place to come.